Hey guys, my name is RyanCentral and welcome to HitScan. In this video, we're going over the new skin line that's come out with this patch, the RGX 11C Pro skin line, which a very weird name. It sounds like a mouse or it sounds like a new laptop, which is handy because this video is sponsored by Alienware. There is an integration later on in this video, but if you're in the market for a gaming laptop, you can check the description and the top comment for a bit more information. Let's jump into the skin set, starting with the Frenzy. In this set, there is a Frenzy, a Stinger, a Guardian, a Vandal, melee weapons, variants, kill finishes. There's a lot to go over, but I do want to talk about the Frenzy a little bit more and let you have a little listen to what it sounds like as well. The reason why I wanted to talk about the Frenzy more is because a lot of the stuff that you'll see on this gun is also obviously going to be on some of the other skins and guns that we'll go over in this set. Now, there's a lot to start with, really, overall with the Frenzy. First of all, you can see into the gun, you can see all of the parts move as you fire. Super satisfied to watch the thing whiz around in the center. It's similar to what Mage Punk has in regards to that, which I think is one of the coolest skin bundles, a bit underrated skin bundle overall, I'd say. And I think it's a really nice look. You might also notice the colors on the exterior and interior, the lights, actually changing when you reload. They go off and on as you put in a new magazine. And also as you inspect the gun, you can actually change the lights on to blue to white to green. It goes through a little cycle of different colors and it's just really cool. It's a nice little thing. Like I said, if you don't like the green as much on it, I think you're really gonna like the variants is all I'll say, because there's some fantastic versions of this gun barring the green set. You might also notice the numbers on the gun as well. This was data mined some time ago, and to show it in its full glory, let's move over to the Stinger so you get a glimpse of what it looks like and also what it sounds like. Yeah, it's a kill counter. This was added into the game. It was data mined quite some time ago, but this is the first skin that also has a kill counter. Really cool, but there's one thing about it that really irks me that kind of ruins this skin for me a little bit, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video so you can, skip away if you don't want to hear it. The Stinger looks great. I think the Stinger suffers as a gun because aesthetically, in its default normal version, it's very plasticky. You fold the gun out, for God's sake, and then the sound of the gun is very sort of tip-tappy. It's not as grand as a Vandal or a Guardian, but that's to be expected, right? I do, however, really like the skin on the Stinger. I thought it was a Phantom originally when I was looking through the skin set, which goes to show how good the Stinger looks in it. It looks big, it looks strong, obviously has all of the same effects that we saw over on the Frenzy, but you get to look at the ADS a little more as an addition. And I think for both the Stinger and the Frenzy, these are some of the nicest skins that we've seen on these guns for quite some time. So yeah, I think this is a really good look. But before we move on to the Guardian, the Melee, the Vandal, and everything else, a brief word from our sponsors Alienware and also Ryan from the past. Yeah, this time I'm not in Madrid, I'm not in Germany, I'm in the best place in the world if you could guess, that being Yorkshire. I'm actually home for the weekend, which is nice, and I'm in the room actually that RyanCentral started in, at least for me when I started working with Miska. But I'm not here to talk about that, I'm here to talk about what's in front of me, the sponsor of today's video, Alienware, and the M15R5 series of laptops. An AMD Ryzen 5000 series CPU means that this laptop renders videos. I've been working on the go, of course, hence the setup and the headset and all that. This actually renders videos out faster than my home setup does. That's how powerful it is. And because it's 15 inches, it's no wider than I am. Well, I wish I was 15 inches. When it comes to graphics as well, big things for gaming. GeForce GTX 30 series graphics card in this, meaning that I could play VALORANT on max graphical quality, of course, but also stuff like Counter-Strike and even Sea of Thieves looks really good on mythical quality. Better yet, it's a quality high definition display that's also 240 Hz, meaning that playing games on this display is absolutely amazing. It's got a mechanical keyboard, so stuff like refresh rate on a monitor and a mechanical keyboard, two big wins when it comes to playing tac shooters like Valorant, you have on this laptop. But if you're in the market for a laptop at the moment, do check the description and the top comment, or just get some more information yourself that way. Thanks again for Alienware for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the news. Guardian time. We don't need to harp on these guns for too much longer. The cool thing about it overall, I'd say, is considering how satisfying it is to watch the sting and the frenzy fire with the stuff whirring in the gun, what happens when you have a gun that doesn't have an insane fire rate? And I think for the Guardian, considering you have the two whizzers on the gun, it makes it feel powerful. You feel the energy that is required to fire out this gun with its high penetration. I don't really like Guardian skins all that much. I think they're some of the worst and weakest on some guns at the very least. But I think this is great. The fact that the skin set makes kind of rubbish guns look amazing says a lot about how good this skin set is overall. And yeah, we haven't even got to the variants, which are really the icing on the cake for it overall. Before we move on, this is what the Guardian sounds like. Yeah, nice mix of the futuristic sounds of the gun, obviously, and also the mechanical power behind of it. And that sort of increases as you move over to the Vandal, which is a perfect gun for this. You have the futuristic aspects, the whirring, the energy that's fired out, the lights on the gun, obviously, and how it changes. It's just a fantastic Vandal. Does it compare to some of the stuff that we've seen recently with Ruination, Sentinels of Light, the Z set with the Phantom? Maybe not as well, but I still think it's incredibly strong. I think this is one of the best bundles that we've seen in a while, just because of how everything is so consistently great, I'd say. Nothing's absolutely superb about it, other than maybe the melee weapon, as we'll go over, but I just think that these guns are solid. I think the cosmetic teams have really found themselves in a golden age, and this is another great skin set that makes you go, holy shit, this is awesome, which is exactly what they want you to do. Unfortunately, I don't know how much it is because we didn't get that information. But before we move on to the melee, let's take a look at what the kill finisher looks like, what the Vandal sounds like, but also what it sounds like when you get those kills as well. Unfortunately, we don't have the sound of what it sounds like when you get an ace, which kind of sucks, but the kill animation isn't as good as other ones that we've had recently. Ruination, Sentinels of Light, the Z one as well. I think the last 3 or 4 have been a lot stronger than this one. It's fine. It's great. It's cool, but it's certainly not to the same levels as some of the other ones. But I think that's fine considering how great the rest of the skin set is overall. Because now we can move over to the melee and talk about how great that is. There's 2 versions of the melee. The first one is this one, which I still think is great. It's just a normal knife. We've seen these animations before on various other ones in the past. Obviously, when you inspect, the colors change. You don't need to upgrade the melee with Radianite to do that, which I think is a nice touch from Riot. But if you do upgrade the melee weapon, it turns into a bit of a bigger knife. Zero fans from Borderlands, you're going to absolutely love this one. It's not only fantastic in its design and aesthetic, not only is the inspect completely amazing, I really like that they've done this, but also it's a brand new set of animations for these melee weapons. We've not had these in the past, so even if you don't like this melee weapon because it's too futuristic, you want a normal sword, for example, you don't really need to worry because I imagine we'll get more in the future. I think the backwards holding is very similar to the Ruination one. Whatever his name's knife or whatever it was called, the sword, the first version before you fully upgrade it to the sword is what I mean. I love this melee weapon, and considering we've had 2 butterfly knives, which people have been wanting, the Z skin, which is kind of all right, it doesn't really compare, some amazing swords from the League of Legends sets, and now this. We've really been spoiled with melee weapons recently. Like I said, golden age of cosmetics, so kudos to the team that are making some amazing stuff. Because now we can move on to the variants, and if you're not sold on the melee weapons, the skins at all, this might convince you, because we have a red version, obviously, which looks better than the green, I'll say that much. The colors change to various different ones on the inspect. It's a nice, cooler look. I just love the way that the kill counter and the lights look as they fade in and out in the various colors. When you fire, obviously, they get a bit more brighter and intense, which is a nice touch of detail. That's what the red frenzy looks like, moving over to, I guess, more of a very dark blue, pretty much black at this point, but yeah, some really cool effects. A really neutral one that is obviously going to work with some of the various colors that you can get on it overall. It's so good. And then the final one is a yellow one, which I don't think is going to maybe get people as interested in before, but as somebody that's favorite colors like yellow, amber, orange, because I'm a Hull City fan in football, for those that actually care, I really like this set on the Frenzy and on the other guns as well. It looks fantastic. I'm just going to shut up and let you enjoy some of these amazing variants. So this is everything in the RGX 11Z Pro skin line, but there is one thing about it that I really dislike, and I'm curious on your opinions on this. So now that we've been showed off the fully upgraded versions of the Vandal for quite some time, this is what the Vandal looks like with 0 upgrades on it. Like, obviously, yeah, it's gonna look a lot worse because you want to be using Radianite to upgrade your guns with visual effects, animations, kill finishes, and the variants, of course. It still looks fine. It looks like something that you'd get out of the Battle Pass, for example. but it's the upgrade in it that kind of bothers me. In a normal skin set, you have to upgrade a skin for the most part 3 times, from the normal default version that you get when you buy the bundle to having the kill finishes and all that. Obviously a little more if you want variants, but you get the point. Stuff like the Origin set, the Reaver set, Glitch Pop. You spend 30 Radianite, you upgrade it 3 times, 10 Radianite points each in order to get the fully upgraded version on these guns. For this set, it's 4. You have to spend 40 Radianite to get the fully upgraded version. And the difference between the 3rd upgraded version and the 4th is just a kill counter. You're spending 10 Radianite points on having the kill counter, which is cool for those that if you don't want the kill counter, you don't need to buy it. But the problem is, of course, you need to fully upgrade a skin in order to get the variants. So you need to spend 10 Radianite points on a kill counter, regardless of whether you want it or not, in order to get the red version, the black version, or the yellow version, which to me are a lot more appealing than the default one, to be honest. I think it kind of takes the mickey a little bit. I know that the kill counter is cool and all, but is it spending 10 Radianite points in order to get it kind of cool? That to me is a bit of a stretch. Maybe there's something in game where they add it to some of the older skins as well, or whether it's the kill count is just going to be unique to this gun and maybe a couple more in the future. I don't have any clue at this point, but I just think it's a little bit unfair to get people to spend 10 more Radianite to just get a kill counter and then be able to get some of the variants as well. It's a little bit disappointing in that fashion. It's something that has really irked me the more that I've looked at this skin set. And if you buy the bundle, you want to upgrade all of these skins to get the variants, you're spending a lot of Radianite, which is a bit of a shame. I think spending 30 Radianite to fully upgrade a skin is fine. I understand that when it comes to some of the business behind it, it's Valorant, it's a free-to-play game. The skins, you know, keep the lights on when it comes to Riot and all that stuff, which I'm more than happy for. And also some of the skins are a lot more expensive, which again is something that I'm happy for. But I guess it's just a bit irritating. Let me know what you think of that and what you think of the skin set. And thanks again for Alienware for sponsoring this video. Hopefully you like the integration and all that stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.